Hey everyone and welcome. It's amazing how much you can learn about a country's direction in just a single week. Today, we're going to take a quick snapshot of India from late September 2025. We'll be looking at a few key moments in culture, tech, and global affairs that are really shaping its story. So let's jump in and connect the dots.
So really, what can just 1 week tell us? Well, as it turns out, a ton. We're going to see how a film nomination, a cricket record, and some new data rules all weave together to paint this incredible picture of a nation that's seriously on the move.
All right, first up, let's talk about the headlines that are making everyone proud. We're starting with some huge achievements on the global stage, in both the world of entertainment and the world of sports.
And here it is, the big one. This is the announcement that everyone in Indian cinema has been holding their breath for. The film Homebound from the incredible director Neeraj Gaiwan has officially been chosen as India's entry for the '98 Academy Awards. I mean, what a massive moment.
Now, this was no easy decision. A 12-member jury headed up by veteran filmmaker N. Chandra had to look through 24 really strong films. But here's what's so amazing. Their decision to pick Homebound was unanimous. In a field that competitive, that just speaks volumes about how powerful this film must be.
Okay, from the silver screen, let's pivot over to the cricket pitch. I want you to just look at this number for a second, 100. What do you think it means? Well, it's a huge landmark and a first for Indian cricket.
And there you have it. The fast bowler Arshdeep Singh just made history. He's become the very first Indian bowler to snag 100 wickets in T20 international cricket. The fastest, most explosive format of the game. He hit this incredible milestone during the 2025 Asia Cup in a match against Oman.
And this isn't just another number on a scoreboard. Experts are calling it a significant milestone in the sport. It puts Arshdeep right up there with the fastest pace bowlers to ever reach this mark, really cementing his spot as a crucial player for the Indian team.
And the winning streak continues, just in a totally different sport. India also hosted its first ever international fencing competition, the Asian Cadet Cup, right in Uttarakhand. This is such a cool sign of a growing and diversifying sports culture. And as you can see, international participation was fantastic, with athletes from 6 other countries making up a big chunk of the competitors. It's a huge leap forward for fencing in the country.
So let's shift gears now from the stage and the stadium to the digital backbone that's powering the country's economy. We're seeing some really foundational moves being made here that are going to have a massive impact for years to come.
Okay, before we dive into the next piece of news, we need to understand this term, an online payment aggregator. The easiest way to think about it is like a digital bridge. It's one single service that lets a small business, say a coffee shop, accept payments from all kinds of different cards and apps without needing a separate system for each one. It just simplifies everything.
And that brings us to this huge development from September 19th. PhonePe, which is already a giant in digital payments, got the final green light from the Reserve Bank of India to operate as one of these aggregators. What this really means is that millions of small and medium-sized businesses, the real backbone of the economy, are about to get access to way more secure and scalable payment tools. This is a game changer for them.
Now, where money flows, data flows too. And protecting that data is the whole point of India's new Digital Personal Data Protection, or DPDP, rules. And they're now finalized. This wasn't some quick decision either. This framework came out of more than 3,000 rounds of discussions. It's been a massive effort, and it's set to become official any day now.
And look, this isn't just about rules for the sake of rules. Finalizing this data framework is a major strategic move. It builds trust, it creates a solid foundation, and it helps position India as a global leader in tech. In fact, it perfectly sets the stage for the country to host the AI Impact Summit in 2026.
Okay, let's zoom out a bit. Let's see how all this progress at home is being reflected in how India engages with the rest of the world. We're talking diplomacy, strategic partnerships, and a growing influence on the global stage.
So one of the key things happening has been the effort to get relations with Canada back on track. After a pretty tense couple of years, the leaders met back at the G7 summit in June, and that paved the way for these pre-Foreign Office consultations on September 19th. It's a really important and positive step toward rebuilding that relationship.
On that exact same day, another really strategic partnership was formed. But this one is all about self-reliance. See, India depends heavily on other countries for critical minerals like copper. So to tackle that challenge,
two major public sector companies, Oil India and Hindustan Copper, signed a deal to work together on finding and developing these resources at home. This is all about securing the country's future.
And then on the global economic front, there's a big leadership change being proposed at the International Monetary Fund, or IMF. Now, even though this isn't an Indian appointee, any leadership shift at the IMF is super important. For a growing economy like India, the stability and the policy direction of the fund create major ripple effects for investment and growth back home.
So, okay, we've seen an Oscar entry, a cricket record, a huge tech approval, and some important diplomatic talks. So, how do all these dots connect? What does this handful of headlines from just 1 week really tell us about what's coming next?
Well, when you put it all together, a really clear pattern emerges. You've got cultural milestones that build what's called soft power. You have a new digital foundation that's going to support all future economic growth. And you have active global engagement to secure the nation's interests. These aren't separate stories. They're all threads in this much larger narrative of a nation in motion.
And that really brings us to our final thought. Each one of these events we've talked about is a building block. An Oscar nomination can literally change how the world sees a country. New data laws can attract a whole new industry. A diplomatic meeting can unlock a world of new possibilities. So we leave you with this question. If these are the headlines of today, what amazing story will they tell about the India of tomorrow?